I thought it would be cool to review Beavis and Butthead Do America, the 1996 animated comedy directed by Mike Judge, written by him and Joe Stillman, and of course the voice talents of Mike Judge. He is Beavis and Butthead, and many others. It's also got Demi Moore, Bruce Willis, Robert Stack, Cloris Leachman, and David Letterman. And I love Beavis and Butthead. I always have, ever since I was a teenager. It was right up my alley, and it's a fandom that's never really gone over time. I have the DVDs. I even liked the 2010 stuff. Beavis and Butthead, to me, has always been a nice, snuggly blanket for me to revisit and just laugh. Laugh at all the dumb shit, but also kind of notice some of the satirical elements that I might have missed as a teenager. And I remember going to movies to see this, and I remember laughing the whole time. So comedies are tricky to review, like especially if you've seen them before, because jokes don't often hit as hard. Some things aren't as funny second time around. Do they hold up after all these years? Things like that. And I'm going to say, yeah, Beavis and Butthead Do America does hold up. It is, in typical Beavis and Butthead fashion, a comedy of errors, which stem from Beavis and Butthead wanting to get laid. And, they sent by this guy Muddy, played by Bruce Willis, to go do his wife. And of course, you know what they mean. You know what they think that means. And then there's a comedy of errors as cops are chasing them, the feds, they're going on these misadventures as they go on a road trip to Washington, D.C. And I really liked it. It holds up pretty well. It's got really cool recurring gags. It's definitely got a bigger budget than the TV show because the animation looks amazing and holds up really well. There's a really cool animated sequence that's done by Rob Zombie. And it's funny throughout. And yes, it can be funny with its really dumb, stupid humor. But I also found it being quite clever in places. And it was just a delight. It was just a delight the whole time. Now, I went to a friend's house, a whole bunch of us, sat around and watched this movie and maybe another movie too. And it was just a really fun experience. It's a big piece of nostalgia for me, this movie. It was good to revisit it after a few years. And it's just a solid good time. The fucking soundtrack is classic. If you're a 90s kid, even if you like Beavis and Butthead, you must have heard this soundtrack and liked it, right? Sadly, it's not on Spotify. What is up with that? I wish it was. This movie is a really fun, good time. It is the kind of movie you've probably seen a million times by now. Not necessarily animated, but I mean like road trip, cop chase, comedy of errors kind of thing. But that's what Beavis and Butthead is best at. They're so dumb and stupid that a lot of people overlook them, and then that's how all the problems and trouble ensues, which they think is fucking cool. I'm going to give this a 7. It's a really good time. It's something I revisit every few years, as well as a TV show. And you should watch it if you haven't seen it. If you're not a Beavis and Butthead fan, you won't like this movie. But if you haven't seen this movie in a while, give it another shot. It holds up pretty well. You'll be singing the songs. And if you're like me, you'll think it's cool.